Welcome to the BBB Insider. I'm Tierney Chatfield, and today's show we're going to talk about charitable giving. It's something that we do all year long, but it really increases around the holidays. Our guests today represent our BBB accredited charities, so please help me in welcoming Dennis Grant from United Rehabilitation Services and Tina Patterson from Homefull. Please welcome our host. You know him best. He's your BBB's president and CEO, John North.
Look, I put a little pressure on you, and
How
you
was
stepped
that?
it up.
Did
I like that
Did I rise
introduction.
to the occasion?
You did. That
It was a lot
awesome.
of pressure.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you. Didn't you do a good job? Thanks, Tina.
Thank
Very
you
impressed.
very much.
She gets
Thank
so nervous, but when that camera comes on, she
Lights
takes
go.
A real
over
pro.
the show.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She really
Turn it
casts
on.
a big shadow
It's like that.
upon me. That's right. It's great.
That
Well, welcome again. For those of you joining us again, and welcome to any new viewers that might have been scanning through the stations and came across the channel and
saw us good looking.
that's
people.
right, that's right. And it just gets better from here. Wait till you see our guests. We're with Your Better Business Bureau. Your Better Business Bureau is the place across North America that is charged with creating a fair and ethical marketplace where consumers and businesses can interact in a trustworthy and ethical environment. We do that in North America, but your BBB here in the Dayton, Miami Valley area covers almost 8 counties, and we work very closely with any business in the Miami Valley to make sure that they're operating according to standards. Our accredited businesses and our accredited charities actually provide us with a wealth of information. And this is sort of like a homecoming for me today because I know both of these individuals personally. I've worked very closely with them on nonprofit issues in the past. I ran a charitable organization for 10 years before I came to the Better Business Bureau. Dennis Grant and I were actually in Leadership Dayton together when he first came. Sometime around 2003 is when 2002 you came in to Dayton and took over URS. So have lots of great information I know that they're going to share with you. When you are doing business, including looking at supporting a charity, whether financially, whether volunteering, it's important that you utilize the resources that are available to you. And one of the best resources that we have are reliability reports, business reviews that we have on our charitable organizations. Charities in the Miami Valley, and especially, well, if they're accredited, they have to meet standards that we hold them accountable to. And so there's 20 standards that we review our accredited charities on. And we give you a pretty good snapshot of how they stack up to those standards. And I'm proud that the 2 organizations that we have here today stack up very well to those standards, and proud to be involved in the community with them and with their causes. So Dennis, let's start with you.
Great.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about the history of United Rehabilitation Services?
Well, United Rehabilitation Services has been around 55 years now, serving children and adults with disabilities from throughout the Miami Valley. Now, we were originally known as United Cerebral Palsy of Greater Dayton. Changed our name about 15 years ago, and people still kind of wonder what happened to UCP, but we're United Rehab Services, URS. And we probably provide the broadest range of services in terms of a continuum of care for kids and adults with disabilities from birth, and actually our 2 oldest clients are 84. And we will work with people any age, any type of disability. And that's one of the reasons we changed our name. A lot of people thought we only worked with people with cerebral palsy, but we work with people with all types of developmental disabilities or acquired disabilities like brain injuries or spinal cord injuries. So we have child care for medically fragile children. We have parent support groups to aid them. And what's really unique about our child care program, we actually have nurses and occupational, physical, and speech therapists all on site at our facility. So while those kids are there, they actually are able to get all the therapies they need, good medical care, whether it's G-tube feedings or catheterizations or breathing treatments, seizure monitoring. We can really care for those kids who have needs that nobody else can really address in this area. But beyond that, we have adult daycare. We have in-home care for people who may have muscular sclerosis or Lou Gehrig's disease or something who need help to stay in their home instead of going into a nursing home. It's just a whole broad range of things. And what a lot of people don't realize is we actually merged with the Hearing and Speech Center of Greater Dayton back in 1994. And so we also provide the best hearing services in town in terms of being able to provide all the hearing testing, but also hearing aid sales and service. And although we're the only people who work with low-income individuals and provide Medicaid services, we actually sell all types of hearing aids up to the highest end, the greatest and latest technology, with doctors of audiology, master's degrees in audiology, not just a salesperson selling you the hearing aid with our name on the side of it. So great pricing, excellent service, quality care. So you don't find that anywhere else. And every dollar we do make off our hearing aids goes to support the mission of enhancing the quality of life for children and adults with disabilities.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you've got a great history here in the Miami Valley. You've got some great programs and services that you offer to individuals and families. Is there anything coming up, any exciting things on the horizon for URS, any programs, any events that are going on?
Well, I tell you, we're really excited because one of the things that we've always done is we try to do a lot of surveying and focus groups to find out where are the needs in our community. We actually just started 2 new programs in October. One of them being we added a second shift for our adult vocational training program. So now a lot of adults can come to our facility and be trained in the evenings to basically learn food service skills. They do some prep for our breakfast because we serve breakfast, lunch, and snacks to all the kids and the adults in our programs. They can learn vocational skills in the area of janitorial, things like that. But we also started a really unique program. It's one of a kind. It's called the Discovery Program, and it's in conjunction with Upper Valley Career Center in Miami County. So we're not just in Dayton or Montgomery County. So we're working with these kids. We have 20 young people between 16 and 18 years of age who have disabilities who are being given a chance to develop vocational schools in a real vocational program right next to their typically developing students, and it's just a great program where we can have 4 staff on site to support those kids throughout the day. And we have 9 kids over at the Upper Valley Medical Center who are also learning skills in those vocational areas in the medical center. So it's just a really exciting program. We're thrilled to death with it, and we're just getting started, and next year it'll be bigger and better.
All right. Well, our viewers certainly want to know how they might be able to support some of the great causes that you offer. And as we discussed off camera, that is your full-time job. To keep this organization running, you got to bring in some resources.
You know, I mean, really, it is. It's important because, you know, I think our child care center is a great example of that. You know, we serve a lot of families who are subsidized through the Department of Job and Family Services, so we're capped at what we can charge for services. Well, what it costs us to have nurses and therapists, and we actually have twice the staff required to maintain staff-to-child ratio, so we can really provide the intensive care. Costs twice as much as what we get paid. So we really need a lot of support from the community, whether it's the United Way, Family and Children First, the Human Services Levy helps subsidize some of that. But it's really individuals out there in the community who can write a check, put it on their credit card, send us a donation, and help out. And we actually have our annual telethon Sunday, December the 4th, coming up on WDTN Channel 2 from 11 to 2. And it's a 3-hour segment where we get to tell the community the stories of many of our clients' lives and how they've been changed by working with us. And we hope people will call in. I don't know what the phone number is, or I'd give it to you now. But we really do appreciate people's support. But you can also go to our website, make a donation 24 hours a day. It's www.ursdayton.org. So we certainly appreciate the opportunity to let the community know that.
Okay. Well, as an ambassador to this community, take a step back and put on your ambassador hat for nonprofits in general. And why don't you give us some general advice to ensure that donations that people are making are being used wisely?
Well, you know what I do, and one, I'm not real big on phone solicitations, and especially from organizations I've never heard of before. I always like to ask, one, is this a professional solicitor, or is this really the agency that I'm talking to? I like to ask, you know, where is the money going to go? I mean, how much of it is actually going to services? You know, a lot of times I think it's important that we know what the administrative overhead is for some of these organizations. You can go to, there's a website called GuideStar, and you can actually look up their financial forms and see exactly how much money is going for administrative and fundraising activities versus real services. But I think the other part of that is, I mean, you can know if it's a BBB accredited organization, that they meet the 20 standards, that it's a quality organization that's stood the kind of test of time. And I think the other part is, if it's a United Way agency, if it's someone receiving funding through the Family and Children First Council, if they have a national accreditation. We're accredited by the Commission on Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. All of those organizations hold us accountable to be good stewards of the monies we receive. So I think those are some really key things that I would be looking for.
Okay. You certainly serve a vulnerable population. Consumers, donors want to make sure that their money is being used wisely. What are some vulnerabilities that you see as far as people you serve being taken advantage of? And then what are some scams in your industry, people that are providing less than legitimate charitable cause that are trying to get money?
Well, you know, I will tell you, probably, as you said, we do serve a vulnerable population. Although many of the people we work with may have a physical disability but not be cognitively impaired. You know, we do have some people who just aren't able to really manage their money very well. They may need help with that. We do work with them around money skills and things like that, but that doesn't mean someone can't approach them and convince them to make a donation to them for some reason, or tell them they're going to buy them a popper. Let me get that for you, I'll be right back. Just give me the money and disappear. And we've certainly had those things. But we really, fortunately, we haven't seen that much of those. And I think most of the people in our community are pretty good about that, and if they see or observe it, they intercede. You know, I don't know that we've had any real specific scams that are specific to working with people with developmental disabilities or acquired disabilities, but you know, I think you always just have to be careful when somebody's out asking for cash on the corner. You need to be sure you know where that money's really going to go, and that there's some level of accountability. Look for that identification, make sure they can verify who they're with, so you have a sense of trust. I'm real easy, you know, I hand up money to people all the time. You know, I can't go to Kroger's without being hit up a couple of times, but
which Kroger's do you shop at?
But you know, but I think it's important. I mean, I like to support everybody in our community too, but I also want to know who it is, and I want to know that they're part of our community. Right. I like giving locally. All
right, great. We like to hear that. Your organization is a BBB accredited charity. Why is that so important to you and your organization?
You know, I tell you, we depend so much on the community to support our efforts and to help our mission be forwarded, that to be able to say that we have the backing of the Better Business Bureau, I think a lot of people are even surprised when I tell them that, because they don't think of nonprofit organizations as being businesses. But we really are. I mean, we have 100 employees serving thousands of people every year. We have over $2 million in wages and benefits. We're a real business. And it's important that people know that we're held accountable to those same standards, and that if people do have concerns about our services or our practices, they have a place that they can go and report that. And I think the Better Business Bureau serves a tremendous service to the community that way. So we're just fortunate and very proud to be a part of it, because it's something that we can kind of be proud of and crow about out there in the community.
All right, great. Well, we're proud to stand with you for trust and ethics, and you all do great work over there at URS. I've had the opportunity to be involved in fundraisers that you have, and it's always a good time. And you bring out individuals that you serve to those fundraisers, and they have a blast as well. So
thank you.
Thanks for being here.